evening, fashion lovers. Welcome to Let's Talk Styles, the show where glam meets culture and styles speak louder than words. My name is Adijat Precious, and here are with me Ikeoluwa Ajiwole.
Hi, fashion lovers. I'm Ikeoluwa Ajiwole.
Together, we will take you on a fabulous ride through the world of fashion. And with us today, we have a creative fashion expert, Mr. Olafare Jason Tomisin, a local fabric producer known as Adire, a passionate storyteller, artist, and a first degree holder in mass communication. Mr. Tomisin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's dive straight into today's program. Mr. Tomisin, can you define fashion sense in your own word?
Thank you so much for the question. So I'm going to define fashion sense in my own understanding, in which I believe that is ability to be able to reflect who you are, or your inward into your outlook, how you look. So it is basically bringing what you feel is right, what you are comfortable with, bringing it out for people to see through your look.
So, Mr. Tomisin, you are saying fashion sense is about confidence and the way you present your look.
Exactly. You know that there is something about at times when you wear some things that you are not being comfortable with, you tend not to have the confidence and boldness. So you being comfortable is a sense. You being well dressed is a sense of confidence.
So now, do you think fashion sense is inborn, or do you think it is self-developed?
I believe that when we were being given birth to, we were so natural. Now, fashion sense is basically into two things, in which I believe it can be through an external force, then it can be through an internal force. An external force, in a sense, like basically on cultural reflex, civilization, it is an external force. For instance, you are putting on a cap and you are putting on a shirt. It actually depicts that you are representing a culture. I'm putting on tie, so it is an external force. Now, an internal force reflect is personally you feel like, okay, this is the way I feel comfortable when I dress. You get, so it is basically into two. It can be an external reflect, which could be cultural, which could be through civilization or whatever, while internal is basically on how you feel you are comfortable, how you feel you want to communicate your own system. Me being a fine artist, most fine artists, they like putting on Adire. If you are familiar with Nike Art Gallery, she puts on Adire. It is just trying to show the world what you feel you are comfortable with, trying to show the world your ideology about things. You like to put on local fabrics to communicate, because you know that everything about you is basically on creativity. So you try to create what you feel you are comfortable with. So that could be internal, but the external is cultural reflect. The Yorubas will put on a particular aspect, the Hausa will put on their own, the Igbos will put on their own. Thank you.
Mr. Tomisin, thank you for sharing your opinion. So my dear fashion lovers, build your wardrobe around timely essentials, good color combination, good clothes, iron dress, and look beautiful and handsome. So Mr. Tomisin, how important is fashion sense in creating a first impression? And can fashion sense be used as a form of self-expression? Because there is a saying that first impression lasts longer, and there's another thing that the way you dress is the way
you be addressed. Yes, I wanted to also use that because the way you dress it depicts the way you be addressed. For instance, this is Bamidele Olumiliwa University of Education, Science and Technology. On Monday, every department are basically recognized based on their uniform. Yes. So now, it means that if I should see you, even without communicating to you, I should be able to know that, okay, this person is from criminology, this person is from... So that is one of the major ethics of fashion. Ability to be able to identify yourself to a particular tribe, ability to build your self-confidence. For instance, if you're in a place and everybody is looking so strange, but fortunately for you, you're able to see somebody putting on a culture you can relate with, you will confidently go and meet the person. For instance, let's say you're outside the country in a French-speaking country, and everybody is putting on their own cultural reflect, and you can quickly identify an Igbo man or putting on Igbo attire. You will have this confidence to be able to reflect, because of what? Fashion is another means of identification, even without you talking. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it has a lot of things that is being embedded, but then it is not just about let me just wear this. It is bringing what you feel, what you think is right, bringing it into your own outlook. Even without you talking, people can get who you are based on how you are being dressed.
Thank you, our guest, and fashion lovers. Thank you for staying with us. Before we continue on this conversation, let's go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Every great brand starts with a vision, a spark, a dream waiting to be seen. At Tenny Vision, we breathe life into your ideas, from logo to full brand identity, because your brand deserves to be felt, not just seen. Tenny Vision, design your vision, build your future.
Welcome back, fashion lovers. Before we continue from where we stopped, moving on from where we stopped. Now, Mr. Tomisin, how do you think you can balance comfort in your style? How do you think you can balance comfort in your fashion, in the way you dress?
Yes, you need to know that you take responsibility of whatever you wear. So it is better that you ensure that anything you put on should be something you know that when people ask, you have your reasons for putting it. And I used to say it that modesty is not a crime, it's a virtue. So you need to ensure that whatever you put on is basically what you know, not you imitating somebody. It has to be you doing your you. Sorry for using that word. You doing your you in quotes. Yeah, let me put it in quotes. You doing your you. You trying to ensure that you are bringing out reflect of your own inward outward. So you don't need to imitate, because I know that in this generation, when you see an influencer wearing a clothes, you tend to see that clothes people trying to imitate the style and stuff. To me, I see it as you not doing who you are. You are doing who the person is, which is not really good. So it is better you know that anything you wear, you are picking up or you are taking up the responsibility. That, okay, this is my own style, this is my own system, this is my own reflect.
So you are basically just saying modesty and moderation should work hand in hand in fashion.
Exactly. In fact, that's the key something in fashion.
Our dear viewers, hope you are still with us. So over to you, sir. Is fashion sense the same thing with following trend? You know, you did the same thing with following trend, your fashion sense.
Okay, now, when we want to check, you know, one thing about fashion that I've been able to see over the years is that there is always like I don't want to say a paradigm shift, but there is always like a twist into things. For instance, you can actually see a particular clothes trending for like 2-3 years. Then after, you start seeing that it's going out of and another one is coming. And you hear our parents saying, this thing has existed even before. So it means that one thing about fashion is there is nothing new about fashion. It is just bringing back what has existed, then you just put it back into the system and it comes over and over and over and over again. So we need to understand the fact that fashion can... What's the question again? Sorry.
And fashion says the same thing with following trends.
Okay, so fashion is following trends. You need to understand that following trends is not the major thing. There is nothing trending. It is bringing back what has existed before, bringing it into the reality now. Where exactly it is just like having a reflection of whatever has existed, like having a shadow. For instance, you know, gone are the days where we have pencil. People are wearing baggy now. Don't be shocked that in the next 2, 3, 5 years, people will go back to pencil. Gone are the days when Ashoki was very imminent. But now look at it was anybody that wears Ashoki. In fact, there is somebody I know that went to his grandparents' house to go and bring their old Ashoki. Those clothes were not things that people really recognize, but people are now going back to their grandfather to go and bring those clothes to wear to probably put on baggy, put on. So fashion is not what, there's nothing new about it. It's basically about creativity. It's basically about all these people, Adidas, Puma, all of them are just bringing back. They were able to travel back to what has existed and they bring it and pull it to the future. It's also applicable to art. There are a lot of artists that can actually pin, they can actually view the future and they bring it now. So by the time it gets there, it's going to have more value than what is existing now. That's just basically what is happening in fashion.
Mr. Tomisin, Do you think the way we dress speaks about our society? Does it speak about our community, and does it speak about where we come from? Like the way we dress?
Yes, I've said that earlier.
Yes, same.
Whatever you wear reflects your ideology, it reflects your belief. So which means if you are putting on, the way I'm putting on a tie, it is actually an official way. I can't say I'm going for a burial ceremony and I'm putting on tie and shirt and you get. Or then another thing is that fashion sense also reflects color combination. It reflects that aspect, and I think it's cogent. But I see now that even color combination now, people are mixing it up, which is another fashion on its own. So that's why I'm saying that there is nothing new. It is basically about creativity. Just do what you feel you are comfortable, and you have reason. You take up responsibility of whatever you put on.
People are now mixing different colors together.
Yes, now you see a lot of people, especially all these fashionistas, fashion influencers. They can put like 3-4 different colors. Yes, and by the time you check it, there's no color riot. Everything is blending, and you just feel like. Yes, and do you know that creativity is actually fashion is entering into art is entering into fashion. Most people that are into all these creative dressing and like, they sketch it out, they make a mannequin and stuff before they now try, they build clothes now, they don't sew it again. Do you know, are you aware that people build clothes, they don't sew it again? You see them putting it on mannequin and they just keep putting, exactly. They build it up, and by the time you wear it, it's just going to look like, what's going on here?
So before we wrap it up today's program, if you could, like, Mr. Thomas, if you could give anyone an advice to boost their maybe self-confidence, self-esteem, to keep them going, what will it be?
I would say that you need to ensure that you are not imitating anybody. Just do what you are comfortable doing. You don't need to follow trend, and if it's actually calls for that, you can, because there are times when you want to go for some occasion, you are required to dress like, they give you color, they give you, yeah, exactly, before you can enter into that kind of venue. So just do what you are comfortable doing. You don't need to imitate. Just know that, be responsible for whatever you wear.
That's a wrap on today's program, which is Let's Talk Style. Big thanks to our fashion expert, Mr. Tommy Singh, and all of you. Thank you for watching. I am your host, Adijat Precious.
And I am Keolu Ajoli.
Join us next week on this program, same channel, same time. But before then, keep slaying,
Keep shining.
and never forget, your style is your voice, so make it loud.